Okay, this is the one. Doesn't this look like she woke up this morning and she was like, hey, you know what'd be a good look for today? I want to look like I have a parasitic creature lodged in the back of my skull. And let's pause a moment to admire this extremely modern looking underwear. Hi guys, Brenna from VG247 here. Today we're taking a look at the character creator in the Elder Scrolls Online. It's out now, so you could just try this for yourself, but if you haven't shelled out for it yet and you're wondering whether you should, you know, here you go, here's a little guide. So when you first load up the character creator, you get a randomized character, and in this case it's chosen for me a lovely Argonian with red war paint and a hammer, but I've seen quite a few different configurations pop up as I've been playing around with it. So the first thing we're going to do is name the character after me, because why wouldn't you? And go for a chick, because, well, women are best. Now, when you play the Elder Scrolls Online, there are 3 factions to choose from, and there are 3 races associated with each of those factions. So if you want to be a Khajiit, a cat person, you're kind of like, you know, you really should be in the Aldmeri Dominion. The Aldmeri Dominion is the one with high elves in it, who, if you remember from Skyrim, are kind of racist. Not that any of the races in Skyrim haven't declared war or genocided or done something dreadful sometime in the long history of Cyrodiil. I never remember which one of those words means the country and which one means everything. Tamriel is the whole world. So I'm going to choose the Daggerfall Covenant because it's full of orcs and redguards. Here's a redguard, here's an orc, and also Bretons who, bless the English, are a bit dull. But I'm actually going to be an Imperial because Bethesda gave me an Imperial edition, and I can, and maybe you can't. And I enjoy that kind of snobbery, so that's what we're going to do. The second step is to choose your class. So there are a couple of classes on offer. 4. There's the Dragon Knight, who uses, you know, magic and swords. It says sorcerers who use magic mainly and summons and that kind of thing. Night Blades, who appear to be, you know, rogues, and Templars, who I'm not really sure what they are. Templars, I guess. Now, if you're coming to the Elder Scrolls Online having never played an MMO, there are lots of things to consider, as in like what kind of role you like to play in group combat and that sort of thing. So, you know, you want to know like which part of the Holy Trinity do you want to be, like DPS or like tank, or maybe you want to be support. I have no idea about any of those things, so I'm going to pick the Templar because I think it's really cool. So yeah, that's a valuable decision. I'd recommend talking to some people who know a lot about MMOs, maybe who you're going to play with, and sorting that out. So on to character creation now. Let's just get our gear off so we can see what's happening. And let's pause a moment to admire this extremely modern looking underwear, which is apparently made with the very, very limited textiles available during the kind of time period that we're talking about, with the technology that was available pre-industrial revolution. Alright, now I've had a little dig. So we've got like a 3-degree slider here. We can make her incredibly skinny, which we would do if looking at it didn't make us feel extremely ill. Or we could make her a bit plumper. This is as extreme as it gets, which is a little bit disappointing, because it's not really representative of many people. Like, seriously, if that's the largest you can get in this world, a lot of people feeling really left out. But, you know, it's really hard to make assets that fit everybody, etc., blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that's what the official explanation is. Anyway, I tend to make my avatars as like kind of like ideally just what I think is great, as opposed to looking particularly like me. So I'm going for mad muscular. Look at that Amazon. And because in real life I'm actually quite tall for a girl, not like massively tall, but pretty tall. And I'd like to be enormous. Here I am a Titan. Look at those arms. That is terrific. Yep, nobody's gonna argue with that. We just pick a skin color at random from the middle of the thing, just beige, cantaloupe, whatever. Elder Scrolls games are famous for their customization, and there really are a lot of sliders, and you probably don't want to watch me go through them all. So I'm just going to, like, I'm turning the arms and the torso up because I want it to be like a big muscly knight, not a wimpy little... I mean, you can do that if that's what you like. And I've turned the gut up really big because even when you turn it up really big, it's still pretty small, and I think it makes like the abs pop. I am going to show you the chest sizer because the chest size slider, because I find it hilarious. Watch this. Ready? Up. Ooh. Up. Ooh. Like, just the things we do. And we'll just leave it in the middle, shall we? Alright, now with hips, if I were making this like ideal, like what I personally in my body would like to look at, I would drop this right down and be like rocking out with my androgynous bad self. In reality, I'm actually more kind of like this because nature wants me to have 10,000 babies. But screw you, nature, I've got shit to do. Also, there's a posterior dimension slider, so we can be like, I've been rocking some squats, or I skip leg day all the time. Rocking squats, skipped leg day, just going for the middle because, oh my god, who cares? Leg size enormous because this character definitely does not skip leg day. And now let's put our clothes back on. You're done looking at naked ladies. So I'm just going to give her no hair for a minute so you can look at the face. Oh god, look at that terrible jewelry. Ugh. Okay, so we can make her really like, oh, soft and squishy waifu, like, oh, so pretty. Except, that's a pretty amazing scar. Or you can make her look like she's just swallowed a toaster and it's still lodged in her upper face. Or you can go for heroic, which apparently means grumpy. I don't really care, so I'm putting it in the middle. When you pick the voice, you can do that thing where you listen to lots of little samples of women going and stuff like that. But I'm just going to pick D because D is the best letter. Right, we better have some hair now. I've looked through all these hairstyles quite a lot, and the Elder Scrolls isn't really famous for doing hair very well, and I think this is kind of the best one that's ever been produced by the series or in Fallout, because it has kind of like weight and volume to it instead of just being kind of stuck on any which way. Like it's moving a little bit, and that's kind of nice, but still the selections are really limited. And if reality bothers you, most of these you couldn't wear under a helmet, and they're just kind of silly or whatever. And I mean, like, look at this. Why would they make this longer at the back than at the front? No, nobody is going to pick that and be like, yes, I've always wanted a shitty mullet. That has never ever happened in the history of the world. This one comes with a head shield to shield you from alien or government mind reading. Why? Don't know. Ridiculous pigtails for 12-year-old girls and men pretending to be women. That one's kind of badass. That one's not. That one's very Skyrim. So they're all kind of like alarmingly symmetrical. And I would say really, really heterosexual because, oh my god, these are conventional. There's one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm just going to talk about hair for like an hour because in real life I have amazing hair and hair's very interesting to me, and I'm always so disappointed that games don't include hairstyles like mine. Instead they're just these 1,000 different ways to braid you. Okay, this is the one. Doesn't this look like she woke up this morning and she was like, hey, what'd be a good look for today? I want to look like I have a parasitic creature lodged in the back of my skull, and I've had to arrange my hair to cover it. Yep, that's what that says to me. So I'm going for this one because it's kind of practical and it's kind of cool and slightly asymmetrical. And I'm going to make it brown because brown is great. I'm an Imperial. Okay, age slider. Watch this. 107. Like there's nothing between photoshopped and airbrushed. And there is actually lots of things of degrees in the middle. And I'm going to go for the middle because I think a few wrinkles make you look really tough and cool. Head marking. So this is where the scars come in. I want one that goes right through her eye mainly. because, and I'll show you why in a minute, I'm going to turn on the Eyepatch Adornment. The adornments are kind of like, I don't know what they have in the male section, but these are all kind of like fussy. There's hardly anything that's not like really prissy jewelry, which I find a bit disappointing. And what if you're a guy and you want to wear jewelry? Because I mean that's pretty good. So I won't piss about with the sliders for too long. I'm turning her forehead slope right up because I feel like video game characters always look like Neanderthals. Turning the cheekbones right up, turning the jaw right up. I'm turning the neck size pretty far down because they also always look like they have neck issues. I mean that's way too small. But like, see how thick it? I don't know. Maybe I just have a really skinny neck. And that's about my natural eye color, a bit greener than that. Enormous eyes. Let's make her eyes a bit far apart. And let's give her like a Clint Eastwood squint. Yeah. Oh yeah. And some ferocious eyebrows because seriously, ain't nobody got time for plucking and fussing when they're killing things. Just make her look a little surprised. Because I'm always surprised. I'm not going to do anything with noses because a nose is a nose is a nose, and a nose by any other name would smell as sweet, etc., etc. Turning the lips right down because I didn't have time to put lipstick on this morning. Ears, nobody cares about that. Right, so having done all that, this is my new character to play the Elder Scrolls with, the Elder Scrolls Online. Have a look, watch out for me in Tamriel. I'll be the one falling over, shouting at people, asking what all the buttons do, and just generally having a good time. Thanks for watching. Bye.